project is studying groups called the Baltic tribes. And they're really a fascinating group that represent the last surviving pagans in Northern Europe. In northeastern Poland, Kaliningrad, which is in modern-day Russia, and in Latvia, these groups didn't convert to Christianity until about the 13th century. And in Lithuania, the groups resisted the Germanic Crusaders for a bit longer, and they weren't Christianized until the 14th century. So these represent the last surviving pagans in Northern Europe. And our project seeks to understand how these last surviving pagans, how they practiced their religion in the final pre-Christian years, and how those rituals would have changed over time, particularly in the face of pressures like forced colonization and Germanic Crusaders and all the economic pressures that also went along with the pressure to convert to Christianity. The most well-known ritual in the terminal pagan period was the sacrifice of horses in human cemeteries. And that's really where we're focusing on in this project. So we know from historical sources that these were ostentatious public cemeteries where the horses were sacrificed. But what we don't know is why specific horses were chosen for sacrifice and what kind of resources this would have taken from the community to put on these elaborate ceremonies. So to answer these questions, Cardiff is leading an international consortium of researchers that are based at 4 different countries and at least 7 different institutions. And what we're trying to address is understanding the mobility of horses that were chosen for sacrifice through strontium analysis. We're also trying to understand the realities of the individual horses that were chosen. So we're using ancient DNA studies to identify the sex of horses chosen for sacrifice, what color coat the horses would have had, and the relatedness of the horses to see if perhaps it was a specific breed that was raised specifically for the sacrifice. The ultimate goal of this project is to understand the social and religious resilience of the last pagans in Northern Europe.